Welcome back to Sports Rock.
Rock.
That was Charlie Brown by Coldplay, trying to give you some newer music to listen to there and expose you to some different things. This segment, we're going to get into the NFC playoffs, and right off the bat, we're going to get into Detroit at New Orleans. Lead us off, Mr. Becknow.
Well, I think you're looking at a high-scoring affair in New Orleans. Now, if you look at New Orleans, what a city. They had the Sugar Bowl last night. They have the national championship game on Monday. And sandwiched in between, they have New Orleans and Detroit playoff game.
Yep.
Very true.
Boy, you don't see that in Cleveland, Ohio, I'll tell you that. But I think it's going to be a high-scoring football game. My edge is going to be to New Orleans. I just think they're a better football team. They're playing at home. They've won 8 straight. They are playing phenomenal. Detroit, first time, a little taste of the playoffs in a long time. Experience-wise, New Orleans, the edge, Drew Brees. Stafford had a great season. But New Orleans is just a tough team to stop offensively. Defensively, they're okay. That's why I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. But I like New Orleans somewhere around maybe 38-31.
Ooh, that close.
I think it could be. I expect Detroit to score points.
Yeah. Mr. 80?
Well, I'm online on this one, too, quite honestly. First of all, yeah, hats off to New Orleans. I wished I could be there for every one of those games. Well, one's already played. I wish I could be there for the next 2. But Saints, I made this comment before in the program. The Saints are the team I think that have the potential to maybe go all the way this year. They definitely have the offensive firepower. I think both teams lack a little bit on the defense. Very well could be a higher scoring ball game here. Being that the Saints are home, I think they will take it. Detroit, as Mr. Becknow said, it's their first taste in a long time of being in the playoffs. Hats off to them for even getting there, quite honestly. It was a long road for them. They started off hot. They had to battle to get in, but I think the Saints will take it, and I think it could be a very entertaining game to watch, actually.
I'm going to go Detroit.
Wow.
Whoa!
I like New Orleans. They're tough to beat at home, but if this game is going to be close, why not? I think I want to give the edge slightly to Detroit on the defensive side of the ball. And, God, that offense is so high-powered. I mean, Megatron is just, he'll light you up. And Stafford has come into his own right as an elite quarterback in the league. And that's, not taken away from Breeze or anything that New Orleans has. I want Detroit to win. I'm going to be rooting for Detroit to win, so I'm going to pick Detroit. No, you got to risk it to get the biscuits, so.
Stick by your guns. That's the way you do it. Stick by your guns.
The next game is Atlanta at New York Giants. The Giants barely, they beat Dallas pretty handily, but really the Giants squeaked into the playoffs this year. What do you think, Mr. 80?
Well, that game right there, quite honestly, neither team probably deserves to be there, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think both those teams struggled really hard throughout the season, and whoever wins this will just be a belated Christmas gift because after that they're probably going to go down. We're at New York. That's why I'll give the edge to the Giants. That's the only reason I'll give the edge to the Giants is that they're at New York. Eli Manning is not Peyton Manning. Eli Manning can have a great game one week and a crappy game the next week. I expect him to have a good game in New York in this first round. I don't see these two teams being that good. And I'll give the advantage to the Giants only because it's at New York, New Jersey, where the hell they play. So that's my call.
Doug?
Well, they play in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Meadowlands.
But the Falcons are a dome team.
Yes.
And playing outside, and I don't know what the weather forecast is for New Jersey on Sunday, but my guess it's going to be at least cold. So I would lean more towards the Giants, though this game is a real toss-up in my opinion. I think this game could go either way. Atlanta's got offensive weapons. They've got two good wideouts. They've got Matty Ice at quarterback. They've got a strong running game with Michael Turner. Defensively, they're okay. They're going to give up some points to the Giants. And Jim was right on the fact is that Eli Manning can have great games, and he can have games where he's not on. He can throw 4 touchdowns. He can throw a couple of picks. I would probably lean towards the Giants by a smidge over the Falcons because the game is at home, and Atlanta being a dome team, I think that's going to play a little bit of a factor into them. But I would say this game is going to be field goalish type game, I think.
I agree with that.
I don't know what to think of Atlanta, to be honest. If you would have asked me at the beginning of the year who would win this game, if you would say they were going to meet in the playoffs, I would hands down say Atlanta. You've got Roddy White and Julio Jones, receiver, Michael Turner, running back, Matt Ryan, who before this year was becoming an elite quarterback in the NFL. Now this year Ryan didn't have that good of a year. Turner's had injuries. I don't know. I don't know what to think.
It's gonna be a tough. It's probably, to me, of all the games that will be played this weekend, the biggest toss-up.
Yes.
To me.
Yes.
Because I think I like New Orleans. I'm pretty confident in them by a touchdown or so. I like Pittsburgh, and I like the Bengals in a close one. But I think the Giants are going to pull it out, and I'm not a Giants fan by any stretch. But as a Browns fan, we want Atlanta to lose.
Yes, we do.
To help their draft pick.
Yep.
So go Giants. Go
Yeah.
G-Men.
Yep.
G-Men!
But I'm going to go with the Giants. They've been shaky, which you wouldn't think they would, with Nix and Cruz and Bradshaw and Eli. But
Eli's got some weapons too.
yeah, I mean that team's not short of weapons either. But yet again, don't play to their fullest potential.
There
But
could be some points in there.
I do think the fact that it's in New York, outdoors, going to be cold. I'm going to give the edge to the Giants, and I'm going to be rooting for the Giants because we do need Atlanta to lose. So, but really, does it matter? Because they're going to have to play. The winner of that game is going to have to probably play Green Bay.
No, it won't matter.
So
it won't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Whoever was winning that game, if they play Green Bay in the next round, you can sayonara to those football teams.
yeah.
Well,
And honestly, I think whoever plays San Francisco, you can say the same to them. I believe, at least.
I would say it's possible. I would not count out New Orleans playing at San Francisco because of the weather shouldn't be that bad.
Right.
If New Orleans would have to go to Green Bay, which may eventually happen in the NFC Championship game, that might be a different story. But going to San Francisco where it's probably going to be 50 or 60 degrees, that offense should translate fairly well.
Right.
But anybody that's going up to Green Bay, if it's Atlanta or the Giants, sayonara.
Well,
I
the
couldn't agree more.
reason why I give San Francisco the edge is because I think they play better. I think they have the best defense. in
They're
the
outstanding.
NFC. Right now, they have a better defense in Green Bay. They have a better defense in Detroit, Giants, Falcons, or
You could
Saints.
probably argue the 49ers have the best defense of any team in the playoffs, AFC, NFC.
you could. You could.
I mean, they only allowed one touchdown.
They'd be
rushing all
right there with
season.
Baltimore and Pittsburgh. I mean, those would have to be the three, but
Absolutely.
I mean, you definitely could.
you're talking
sure.
you're talking a big sleeper, that's for sure. With the
Yeah.
49ers,
And
they're a big sleeper.
And Smith
And
has
it's
some
huge.
weapons too. He's got Vernon Davis and Crabtree and Gore.
But if you
I mean-
if you look ahead, if you would look farther ahead, and project San Francisco to play at Green Bay for the NFC Championship,
Big trouble.
I don't think the 49ers defensively can hang with Packers defense, but offensively, I don't care how good a defense you have, the Packers are going to score points,
Yes.
and the 49ers cannot run with the Packers offensively.
Well, the thing about
just
the Packers too is
they won't score enough points.
Well, they can have a Pro Bowler go down, and they've got someone else to back them up that has
Well,
another
that's-
great game.
that's
I mean,
just-
look at the Super Bowl against Pittsburgh last year. I mean, you can say with Green Bay, they're so solid. You see Jennings go down. Jordy Nelson steps up and has a freaking monster game.
Sure.
I mean, it's amazing, really, to be honest. It really is.
That's what quality football teams do. They have the depth to be able to. And Jennings will be back for the playoffs.
Yeah.
The quality teams have the depth that can afford. I mean, everybody at this point has injuries, has players banged up. The better teams have the depth to overcome those injuries to move on.
It's very true. Unfortunately, Cleveland does not know what that's like.
Well, no, they don't have depth. They're lucky to have starters.
Wait till next year.
Well, it's unfortunate.
That's the Cleveland battle cry.
It is.
Wait till next year.
It is.
In every sport.
Absolutely.
Wait till next year.
Absolutely.
I got Cleveland will still be there, and we'll be still saying wait till next year.
Well, yeah, that's the problem with Cleveland sports is we're just hoping for next year all the time. But it'd be nice to be talking about the Browns in the playoff picture for once.
Right.
You know,
Next year.
outside of what was it 2003 when the Browns made it under Butch Davis and went into Pittsburgh and should have beaten Pittsburgh
Yep.
in that playoff game that I was at. With Kelly Holcomb at the controls and throws for 400 God knows how many yards.
Incredible game.
And
He played
still couldn't
insane.
win because Dennis Northcutt drops a
Everything.
potential first down that would have given the Browns, that probably would have won the game for them. They
Yes.
probably would have been able to sustain that. So that's another time for Cleveland Browns.
Now,
fans.
real quick on a side note, the Chargers, one of the most underperforming teams, I would say, in sports, decide to keep Norv Turner. What do you think of that?
I would have fired him.
Gone.
I would have fired him.
That's unanimous there.
Gone.
There's too much talent on that football team. Too many years of sluggishly coming out of the gates, 1-3, 2-4, trying to win 5, 6, 7 in a row at the middle of the season, and then stumbling at the end. I would have fired him. I think it's time for a new direction in San Diego.
No, what
But
about you?
this year was a little bit different, though. They come out on fire.
Yeah. Switch it up this
They
year.
come out on fire this year.
They
And
were
then
like 4-1 or something like that.
Then they stumble.
And then they stumbled.
But yeah, I'd say gone.
Now, what about
No doubt.
Andy Reid in Philadelphia with the Dream Team?
Well,
Real quick, yes or no?
Andy
Keep
Reid,
him.
I keep him.
Yes, I think he's a quality coach.
I think they
I think he's a
wouldn't
quality
they
coach.
wouldn't be able to get anybody better. So I agree with
I
that.
think he's a quality coach.
All right, that'll do it for segment 2 of Sports Rock.
Sprock.
We're gonna leave you with Eminence Front by the Who. Join us on the other side. We'll get into
By who?
By who?
Woo!
We'll get into the Browns and what they should do next.